Hello everyone, Thijs here, and this time with a little bit of a special video here for you as well. I want to talk about you what has just been revealed by Blizzard, and that is that we now got here ourselves the newest expansion announcement with the Rise of the Shadows. Rise of Shadows will be the new expansion that we are going into, and already quite some stuff has been revealed what will all be there in the new expansion. Already the first cards have been revealed, but I will be taking a look with you as well. Two new keywords and two new mechanics are becoming into the game as well. And the expansion will be going live at the 9th of April. 140 cards are coming in the game and two new mechanics are coming in the game. The first one, Twin Spell. Twin Spell is a mechanic where you can play a spell twice. Meaning that even if you are losing the first piece or if you are playing the first piece, there will be a new one added to your hand. It basically is a card that you have as a 2-of in your hand once it is there. And another extra mechanic coming in the game here is the Sheams. Every card will, there are a few cards that are gonna have like either Leckies or Streams, also adding a little bit of a bonus. Kind of a little bit, as you can see, an OP effect that you get on a card. Let's say a 1-mana 1/1 that has like a little bit of a bonus on all these kind of effects. Summon a random 2-drop, give a friendly minion +1 rush. Kind of like a little bit like what Lich King can do, but then on 1-drops in a little bit less of an OP way. And already the first cards have been revealed, guys. And I want to take a look with you over the first cards that have been revealed. View all cards. First card that has been revealed, Spellward Jeweler. 3-mana 3/4, your hero can't be targeted by spells or hero powers until your next turn. Very interesting card. It is a little bit of a card that you can tech into your decks to deny any combo effects. If I look at the stats of the card, it's already a 3-mana 3/4. So it's already a very solid card on the stat line itself. But it kind of can act a little bit as a timeout, for example, where you can lock yourself away from combo decks, from comboing you down. It doesn't work against all these kind of decks because it only works against spells that can target you. So a spell like Mind Blast can still go to your face. We'll see. I think it can be maybe a little bit tech card if there will be really a combo deck around. It's a solid card. I mean, it's a 3-mana 3/4, so definitely gonna be also see play in Arena and so on. If I have to give it a star rating, I wanna also start everything now with doing my card reveals with a little bit of a star rating from 1 to 5. I will probably give it 2 stars. I don't think it's gonna see play in Constructed, but it's a card that is quite solid itself, so it's gonna be an alright card. And then, guys, where I was the most probably excited about, or I think the coolest card revealed so far out of all of the 8 cards that we have seen. Kalecgos, now we are talking. 10 mana 4/12, your first spell each turn costs 0. Battlecry, discover a spell. What is very nice about this card is you don't lose any tempo with this card. It is a 10 mana card, but your first spell each turn costs 0. Battlecry, discover a spell. What you can do with this card is you can, even if you don't have any spell anymore in your hand, you can still like discover a spell and play that spell directly on the same turn. So let's say you play this, you can get yourself a Flame Strike, you can get yourself a Pyroblast, you can get yourself a Frost Nova or anything. And if the Kalecgos stays on the board, your next turn is also your spell is costing 0. One very important thing, if you coin this card out, your coin counts as the first spell, guys. So don't coin him out at turn 9 and then think your spell costs 0. No. That's not how it's gonna work. But yeah, it kind of has like the Ysera Malygos stats in a way. And normally 10 mana cards are always a little bit slow. This card, it's not gonna be like meta defining or meta breaking because it is such an expensive card. It really reminded me on the Solia that we had in the Reno expansion. So what was always a very strong card is it kind of acts like as a 0. It can act as a 0 mana card or a 2 mana card because you combine it with a spell, so you get yourself a very solid body on the board. I will give it 4 stars, and I definitely think it's going to be a card that you will see in quite a lot of mage decks in the future. Chef Nomi is a 7 mana card, 6/6 legendary. If your deck is empty, summon 6 6/6s Graveshire elementals in the deck. This is a card that I don't think you will see in any like normal base deck, but I know a very sick combo with this card. If you play Chef Nomi into your rogue deck and you combine it with Mira's Unstable Elemental, you can get yourself your deck empty, you can play the Chef Nomi, then you can even Shadow Step or Lab Recruiter the Chef Nomi, and you can get multiple Chef Nomis off. So it can become a very like nice miracle turn in a way that it can work. If it will be really see play, it's a little bit hard to say. It's a cool card. It's kind of like an Alana that is very strong on itself, that can definitely win games, but can also, of course, struggle against like some big removals. I don't think there will be that many big removals left in the game, so we'll see. But if this card gets seed play, it's gonna get played in Rogue. It's a 2-star card for me. The Forest 8 is the first card that we see with a twin spell on it. Summon 5/2/2 trance. So twin spell means that once this card gets played, you have it as a 2-of in your hand. So even when you play it, you get another copy of the card in your hand. And what is different than Echo with this card is that it doesn't get discarded. You can play it whenever you want. It just adds as a copy to your hand. So that's like the first part, and I definitely think twin spell can be a powerful mechanic, because it just basically is you have a card that you only play one of, but you have 2 cards. So it acts as like an extra card in your hand. This card is not gonna see much play. I think this card is quite a little bit too high cost for it. 8 mana to summon 5/2/2s is not good enough in my opinion. I will give it a 1 star. I don't think this card will see any play. But we got ourselves the first view here on like what the twin spell will be about. Twin spell is a little bit of a mechanic, or a mechanic that it will be. You cannot make the cards too good, because then it becomes like too strong. So I expect the twin spell cards to be a little bit underwhelming compared to like general cards. Hagatha Sheem is is the first card also with a new mechanic that upgrades each turn. So every turn the upgrade stacks 5 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, but if you hold this card, let's say 3 times in your hand, it already can upgrade yourself to like deal 4 damage to all minions, what basically becomes a flame strike. So it can be a very good card in that way. It does to all minions, so it also does to your own minions. So we'll see how much it will see play. It's a pretty strong card, so in some palette it will definitely be like a card that should be played in Shaman. The only question is Shaman gonna be good enough? I will give the card for now 2 stars, because I just don't see in current Shaman deck it can really fit in. But with like some really strong Shaman cards, a more like control Shaman deck, a card like this can be very strong as like a complete full removal. It doesn't overload you as well, what is normally the case with these kind of Shaman cards. So I definitely still have like potential for the card. And here the first rogue card with the Lackeys combo, add 2 random Lackeys to your hand. So we already have seen the Lackeys, what are basically cards that are all 1 mana. And all 1 mana cards, they have a little bit of a specific bonus that are normally like a little bit too strong for their cost. But it's like, let's say, worth 2 mana, what they are adding to your hand for just the cost of 1 mana. Pretty good. Pretty good. And also this being a 3 mana 1/5 card, the stat line is pretty nice for what it adds to your hand. Rogue is also something that I think can really benefit from Lackeys. They are only 1 mana, so Rogue can do a lot of combo effects with them. You can make your advins bigger. In Rogue there is a lot of synergy with this, so I like this card a lot. I definitely think it is a very strong card for Rogue with the stat line. So I will give it a 3 star, and I definitely, if there are more Rogue cards that are in the new expansion that are gonna synergize with this, I see a lot of potential for Rogue in that way. Forbidden Words is the first priest card. Spend all your mana, destroy a minion with that mana, a much attack or less. Very interesting, as priest guys is gonna for the first time have a Shadow Word 4. it can actually deal with 4 attack minions. I think priest mains are very happy with this card. To have like a removal. It's a very flexible removal. You can use it the way that you want with this card. So in that way, it's a very nice way of just having in your deck, I think, for priest decks. We'll see what kind of priest decks it fits in, but it's kind of like a Shadowward Pain and Shadowward Death combined, without like necessarily running it, where you have the risk of it being a completely dead card against some specific decks. So it's a little bit more of a flexible card, and I mean flexible is very good in like standard play. So I definitely think this card is very good. I will give it 4 stars. I definitely think it will see play. So pretty cool and strong card, a single removal card. Priest is having a lot of removal, so that makes it a little bit lower. But also like spend all your mana, destroy a minion with that much attack. Like imagine just using that like on a Kalecgos, for example, or like on these kind of like very miracle cards, or like Yseras that have always been a nightmare for like priests to deal with, and suddenly you can just deal with it for like 4 mana. So very nice card in that way. And here comes Rafaam. Archvillian Rafaam comes in the game. 7 mana, 7/8. Taunt, Battlecry, replace your hand and deck with legendary minions. So when I first saw this card, I had to directly think a little bit about Lich King. What is kind of an 8 mana 8/8 that is also having an effect. That Rafaam is a 7 mana 7/8. What is already a very good stat line for a 7 drop. There are not that many good 7 drops with a stat line like this. That also has Taunt is super important. That you can play this card with Taunt. It already like gives you so much extra like playability in Constructed, and that the card is not too slow. And it replacing your hand and not only your deck with legendary minions is also very, very nice. I'm very happy this is not a neutral card, because I think this card will be completely busted if it was a neutral card. But it being only a Warlock card, it is like very more limited in that way. In that way, it also reminds me a little bit on like Elise. And if I could play Rafaam in Warrior or something, the card will be like super, super busted. So very happy that it is like a class card in that way. But very high for this card. I'm definitely gonna have a lot of fun with this card. I will give the card itself 4 stars. I don't know if it will really get played that much, because I don't see a Warlock archetype besides maybe Zoo that can really benefit from it. But if it won't see play, it's not the problem. It's not like because of the card is bad. It is because it is just not having any good archetype to fit in. Very cool card. Very, very excited about it. So that were the first 8 cards, guys. Many more to come in the later parts of it. We'll definitely catch up with all the cards that have been revealed. Definitely also on the stream we'll talk a lot about these cards just in a general way. Super hyped for the expansion. I can't wait. It comes out at the 9th of April. So we are now 3 weeks away. Very excited, and hopefully we're gonna see a lot more cards that are gonna make us very exciting. 135 cards, guys. Hype.